What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Nerdsmerized. Today, guys, we're going to continue our journey into the world of Game of Thrones. Today, we are going to continue with season number 4, episode number 1, titled Two Swords. So, guys, without further ado, let's get right into this one. So, we start off this episode seeing Tywin Lannister alongside a blacksmith, and it looks like they are breaking down Robb Stark's sword. Robb Stark's beautiful bastard sword that was his father's is Valyrian steel, one of the rarest types of steel you can get, and super expensive, pricey, and just completely rare. So rare that there is not one in the Lannister family. They're warlords, they're badasses, and there's not one Valyrian steel sword, and they're rich as fuck. So they're breaking it down, you see him melting it down, and it goes into two swords, hence the title of the episode, Two Swords. Then we see Tywin grabbing the sheath wrapped in wolf's fur that Robb held this beautiful sword in and tosses it into the fire like, don't need this shit no more. Fuck that guy. I fucking hate Tywin. So then we flash to Tywin meeting with Jaime, and he presents him with one of the swords. He presents him with one of these swords and tells him, this is Valyrian steel. This is now yours. He's like, where the fuck did you get a Valyrian steel sword? He's all, I melted down an extremely large, gigantic, overly giant sword from a motherfucker that ain't gonna need it. So essentially, Robb Stark, fuck you, Tywin, fuck you. And so he melts down this sword for Jaime to use. Jaime is excited because it's a Valyrian steel sword, but then he tells him, you're not going to stay with the King's Guard. Your ass is going to go back to Castle Rock. And Jaime's like, essentially tells his dad, no, I'm not. Go fuck yourself. And he's like, all right, fuck you. You want to stay here and be a fucking guard for the rest of your life with one fucking hand? Good luck, motherfucker. And so Jaime just walks away with the big old smile and his Valyrian steel sword. He doesn't give a shit. So we flash to Tyrion, Podrick, and Bronn standing outside waiting for some nobles to arrive, and they start reading off all the sigils and who they are. And the noble that they're there, the prince, is not here. He sent his brother in his stead, his brother Prince Orban, and he's not there either. And they're like, where the fuck is he? He's like, oh, he arrived last night in the middle of the night. And Tyrion's like, God damn it, we gotta find this fool. And Bronn's like, how are you gonna find one man in a fucking giant city like this? He's like, well, if you're known for whoring it up, you're gonna go to a whorehouse. So we'll start there. So we get to the whorehouse, and yes, Prince Orban and his little Hyena are sitting there choosing a girl, and they get this one flexible ass girl, and he's like, I don't want no timid bitches, so the timid girl goes away, boom. Choose their girl, and then as he's about to leave, the man that works for Littlefinger, which is the fucking squire that Loras was fucking for Littlefinger, and Littlefinger was being informed about it. Yeah, so that guy's standing right there, and Prince Orban's like, you're going to stay too. We're going to fuck you too. And he's like, I'm very expensive. He's like, I'm a prince. Don't trip. You ever been with a prince? Let's do this shit. Then he hears some singing of like a Lannister song from another room. So Prince Orban's like, you know what? Fuck this. Hold on. Hold this, bitch. Gives the whore the wine glass, walks into the other room, sees these two fucking Lannister fools sitting there with their whores on their lap, and they start talking shit, and he walks up to him and he shanks one of them in the wrist, and he's pinned him to the fucking table, and he's like, all right, so long swords probably aren't the best option for talking shit in close quarter combat, so I got you on there. And he's all, when I pull my knife out, this motherfucker's gonna bleed a lot, as you do from your wrist, so you're gonna need to take him to get help right away, not later. So yeah, fucking twisted. I was like, damn, this motherfucker's savage. Just at that time, Tyrion shows up to greet him, and him and the prince take a little walk. And him and the prince are talking about why he's here, why he's really here. He's like, oh, I'm here for the wedding. No, why are you really here? Don't fucking lie to me. You said you were going to lie. Let's be honest. And he's like, well, you know, your father led the siege on King's Landing. My sister was married to the king, the Targaryen king, the last dragon. Yeah, she was married to him, bore his children, cared for his children. And what happened when your dad sieged the fucking city? They murdered those children, wrapped them in Lannister cloaks. Then he had the Hound rape my sister and then cut her in fucking half with his bastard sword. And that order came from your dad. So why don't you go talk to Papa, go talk to your daddy Tywin, and tell him your family is not the only family that settles their debts. And I'm like, this motherfucker's got huge testicles. He's got huevos for days. Like, oh God, he's going to get his ass killed by Tywin. Or he's going to kill Tywin. Either way, I'm good. So then we see Dany sitting with her largest dragon while the other two dragons are flying up in the air. And she's just petting him nice like a little puppy. And then the other two dragons drop a goat carcass that they were fighting over in midair right in front of the big one. The big one jumps down to go get it, and Dany's trying to calm him down. She's like, shh, calm down. And boom, the big one turns around and just nips at her and just snaps at her and scares her a little bit. She jumps back, and Jorah walks up to her. He's all, regardless of what you think, my lady, they're still dragons. You can never truly tame them. They will turn on somebody, including their mother. You can't tame them. Unfortunately, they're wild animals, and they're the wildest of the wild. So then Dany approaches the front of her army as they stop to find out what the fuck is going on. And there is a little girl crucified up on this fucking post, and it's just ridiculous. So they're killing slaves, and Jorah tells her there's one of these at every mile marker, and there's like 160 something miles to get to this city. And let me send the guys ahead to go bury them ahead of time so you don't have to see them. She's like, no, I will see every one of their fucking faces and I will remember it. So she's going to use every one of these dead people, dead slaves, dead children to fuel her rage and push her to fucking kill everyone that slaves people. I love it. I love how much of a badass Dany is and how much of a freedom fighter is she. I've said it before. She's a G. So she approaches her army and she asks where Grey Worm and Dara and Naharis are. And they're gambling. And so she walks over there kind of pissed off. She's like, all right, what the fuck? Get over there. And these two fools are out there with their hands out, just holding their swords on their hands. And they're having a contest. And first of all, I got to point out the fact that Dara Naharis has been recasted in season 4. I like the guy. I think he's better looking, the big jawbone fucking Francis from Deadpool. But yeah, I'm digging it. I like the new one. I really liked the other guy as Dara Naharis. But yeah, recasting aside, they're having this little contest, and she tells them either you guys keep having this contest or you guys can go find another fucking queen to follow. So they drop their swords real quick, get their asses up, start walking out. They're like, oh shit, let's go. She ain't fucking around. So we see Sansa not wanting to eat, and we see Shay trying to insist that she eat something. Tyrion walks up and says, can I talk to my wife alone? Shay reluctantly leaves, a little pissed off, but she tells him, like, you know what? That's fine. I'll leave. But she needs to fucking eat. And so she tries to sit there, and Tyrion's like trying to be a good husband, just trying to tell her, like, I can help you. Let me help you. And she's like, I heard how they killed my brother and my mom, and they just threw her body in the water, and they sewed a fucking wolf on my brother's head. And I'm like, damn, it's pretty fucked up. Tyrion, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You're not gonna be able to help her. So Sansa kind of gets up, excuses herself, and goes to like prayers. And he's like, oh, prayer's probably good right now. She's like, I don't pray no more. Shit don't do nothing. I just go in there because no one will fucking talk to me there. And I'm like, damn, savage Sansa. I know you're pissed, girl, but he's just trying to help. So Tyrion goes to his room, and just to find Shay sitting there waiting for him on the bed. And she kind of throws herself at him, even licks his finger and puts it in her twat. And he's like, pulls it out, girl. We can't do this no more. He doesn't want to tell her that you're going to get killed because she doesn't care. She's savage. She's cool as fuck. And she is not scared of nobody. And so I'm like, okay, like, what the fuck is happening? What in the fuck is really happening? And he kind of dismisses her. She is pissed. She also brings up the fact that Tyrion tried to throw diamonds at her and get her to fucking leave. And he's like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. So apparently Varys did that himself, or maybe directed from somebody else. He was just being a good guy. But yeah, so that wasn't Tyrion. Wonder who it was. So Jaime and Cersei are having a little talk, and Jaime tries to get up on her and get some poontang, and she shuts his ass down, say, bitch, you were gone. You left me. You were gone too long. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, she was fucking her nephew or cousin or some god whore. Tormund and Ygritte are waiting there with the rest of their crew that came over the wall with them. And then some other reinforcements from Wildlings come. But these fools look fucked up. They got scars and shit all over their face, cut up. And they go over and they scrape off all the like rabbits and shit and wolves and whatever they're eating that they're cooking, scrape off all that meat onto the floor, and they fucking are running meat onto the skewer to put it back on the thing. And he's like, you know, Tormund, we've had some fucking bad times in the past, but I always thought before you die, you need to at least try crow once. And then we flash out to an arm, a human fucking arm, getting cooked over the fire now. These guys are cannibals. Holy shit. Jon is getting dressed after he's healed up a little bit with Sam standing there, and he's talking about Robb and just reminiscing about his brother, and he's really going to miss him because Robb, no matter what he wanted to do and how much he wanted to hate him, he never could. He loved Robb. So they're talking about, hey, you're going to be just fine. They're not going to kill you because you broke your oath. And Jon's like, I've done a lot of bad things that they don't know about yet, but they're going to. So Jon's going to go be a stand-up guy and tell them exactly what happened, not try to hide anything, it looks like. So Jon meets with the leader of Castle Black, admits that all this shit happened. He ran with the wildlings, he fucked a wildling, he broke his oath, all this other shit. And they're like dead set on killing him right there. And I'm like, okay, this fucking sucks already. But then guess what? Maester Targaryen stands the fuck up and tells me, you know what, Jon, we're not going to cut your head off today. If we had to cut off the head of every ranger that went over the wall and fucked some bitches, or went to a brothel and fucked some bitches, we'd just have a bunch of headless men guarding the wall. So yeah, don't trip. You're fine. We're not going to kill you. Kick rocks. And the other guys are like, you know what? You're not in charge of this. I'm the acting fucking leader. Yeah, bitch, but you're just a bitch. Don't trip. I'm a Targaryen, motherfucker. Suck my balls. Marjorie and her grandma are talking about the necklace she's going to wear to her wedding, that it needs to be extravagant and the best it ever was. And then Lady Brienne walks up and is talking to her and wants to talk to Marjorie in private. So her and Marjorie take a little walk, and she's telling her like, and Brienne tells her, I will avenge our king no matter what. And she's like, Joffrey's our king now. We need to just chill out. He's our king now. And the best part about this scene, I hated what she said to her, but you know what the fact is that we get to see them walk by the most ridiculous statue of Joffrey with the sword and his little crossbow. And I'm like, I was like, that is the fucking stupidest statue I've ever seen. I love it. So Jaime is sitting there with the head of the King's Guard trying to plan out the protection for all the nobles at the wedding. And Joffrey brings out the book of all the knights of the Seven Kingdoms and goes and flipping through. Look at all the pages this motherfucker has. Look at all the pages this motherfucker has. Gets to Jaime's page and there's just blank pages and like two little things. And Jaime's like, all right, well, it's not all about that. We got plenty of time. He's like, yeah, for a 40-year-old knight with one hand? Yeah, I don't think so, motherfucker. And he just storms out. And Jaime's like, I'm going to slap this son of a bitch. Like, I was like really waiting for Jaime to crack a motherfucker. So Daario Naharis, the new one, actually walks up to Dany and is giving her some tips about the local flowers. Some can be made into teas, and you need to know this if you were going to take over this area and you're going to want these people to respect you. These can be made into teas, whereas this stuff right here is poison and can kill basically anybody. And then he hands her the flowers and kind of walks away, and she's kind of giving him the I'm going to fuck you look, and I'm like, Dany, keep your shit in your pants, girl. So Sansa's out in the gardens trying to be alone in her thoughts, and she thinks she's being followed. So she starts running kind of scared. Turns out to be the drunk knight that Joffrey, on his name day, his birthday, he actually demoted him to be the fool instead of a knight anymore, and that's Sir Dantas. So he talks to her and tells her, you know what, I don't have anything left in my life, like my family's fortune, my family's name is gone, my mother's gone, and this is all I have left. And he pulls out this beautiful necklace and gives it to Sansa. He's like, I want to say this and give this to you to say thank you for saving my life. You're the only reason I have my life. He was going to kill me, but instead I'd rather be a fool than a dead fool. So thank you so much. And she's like, you know what, I will wear this with honor. I will wear this with pride. It is gorgeous. Thank you so much. And it was pretty cool to see him come around to want to protect her, and that's awesome. So we get to see the Hound and Arya show up at a small tavern, and they see these douches come out, and they're some of Joffrey's men. And one of them is the guy that stole Needle. He still has Arya's sword right there on his waist, and he killed Arya's friend with it. So they go inside the tavern, and the Hound is like, you know what, like, motherfuckers, like, they're all, oh shit, it's the Hound. The guy runs over, hey man, like, you're the Hound, blah, blah, blah. Starts talking to him, and the Hound's like, fuck the king. And he's like, it gets real quiet, and I'm like, oh shit. And he's all, now bitch, go bring me some chickens. I'm hungry. And he's like, you got money to pay for that? Not a fucking penny. Get your ass over there and give me some chickens, bitch. And he's all, well, we're the king's man. We eat for free. They can't tell us nothing, but you're going to have to pay. And he's like, fine. He reaches over and grabs the other motherfucker's drink and just pounds his drink in front of him. I'm like, there you go. Hound ain't fucking around no more, boy. So then the Hound gets up and starts rocking these fools. And Arya's just standing there watching at first, and then she sees an opportunity to grab a sword, kills one motherfucker, just shanks him in the stomach, goes to the motherfucker that stole Needle as he's about to go after the Hound, slices him in the back of the legs, and she's like, starts saying the lines he said to her. What, you can't walk? Oh, let me see how this works. And she like stabs this motherfucker right through here into the brain. As he gets killed, he realizes who she is because of the lines he's given her in the past, and she's giving it right back to him. And I'm like, yes, Arya, you're a fucking gangster. Then we get to see the end of it is the two of them riding off into the sunset, and the Hound is grubbing on a big old chicken leg, and Arya's got her own little horse with Needle in her side, and she's just fucking got a big ass smile on her face. I was like, yes. So guys, my favorite part of this episode, I would have to say, is when Arya and the Hound fuck all those guards up. I love it. It was so cool. It was so cool to see Arya just be fucking savagely dark when she killed that motherfucker and got revenge for her homie and steal a needle. Yeah, you don't steal a motherfucker's sword, especially a custom sword her brother gave her. Yeah, you're dead, son. But guys, let me know your favorite part of this episode down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the videos we put out every week. And I will see you guys next time right here on Nerdsmerized for another episode of Game of Thrones. All right, guys. Peace out.